Hi, I'm Matthew Lapp, host of Matthew Lapp Train Guide. Also today I'm at the Hagerstown Railroad Museum in Hagerstown, Maryland. The Hagerstown Roundhouse Museum in Hagerstown, Maryland. The Hagerstown Roundhouse Museum is located on 296 South Burhans Boulevard in Hagerstown, Maryland, and is open if you check the web for the hours. The site of where the Roundhouse complex used to be was on the east side of the tracks, and if you're looking at where it used to be from a bird's eye view, you can tell by the concrete foundation shown where the building was. And the Roundhouse was built in 1939 and featured 25 stalls, and the shops were a major facility for maintenance and repairs of locomotives and cars on the Western Maryland Railroad. In 1999, the Roundhouse was demolished and the turntable well was filled. The turntable was moved to Frostburg, Maryland, and it is used to turn most of the locomotives at the Western Maryland Scenic Railroad as well. The site later soon became a museum. The museum features exhibits about the area and the railroad as well, and a lot of you'll find out about it. There is even a model railroad display inside the building as well. Also outside, you'll find real railroad equipment on display as well. Also, the museum is right next to the Hagerstown CSX yard and was originally owned by the Western Maryland Railroad. And in 1973, the chassis system was established and became a parenting company, with Western Maryland being one of the railroads it was a parenting company to. Then it was till 1986 when the Seaboard Coastline and the chassis system merged to form the CSX Railroad, and diesel locomotives are even maintained nearby as well. In late August 2024, a CSX freight train was passing by the site, and suddenly a derailment took place when the middle half of the train tilted and laid on its side, and some cars laid against some of the historic train cars. Then the mess was soon cleared up. Today, it helps preserve railroad history as it still does today, and it has several train cars on display as well. What you see right behind me is Hagerstown and Frederick Railway 168.
Hagerstown and Frederick Railway 168 was built by the Brill Company in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in 1918 and is a combine interurban car. This car was operated on the Hagerstown and Frederick Railway for many years, and it was the last car to operate in Washington County in the state of Maryland. The car spent many years hauling people around from station to station along the system. In 1947, it was then retired. Then, likely in the 1980s, it was acquired by the Hagerstown Roundhouse Museum in Hagerstown, Maryland, where it is seen on display today. Today, the car's body only exists, but the original trucks may have disappeared out of nowhere. Today, it stands on freight car trucks, and it is seen on display at the Hagerstown Roundhouse Museum in Hagerstown, Maryland, where it is seen on display today.
What you see right behind me is Western Maryland 132.
Western Maryland 132 was built by Baldwin in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in 1944 and is the 701 50th diesel locomotive built by that factory and is a Baldwin VO 1000 type diesel locomotive. This locomotive was used to do some switching duties for the railroad for a number of years and was even used to haul freight trains as well. Then, in 1965, it was acquired by the Tennessee Eastman Railroad and was renumbered 5. In 1976, it was retired and was acquired by the North Carolina Transportation Museum in Spencer, North Carolina, where it was painted as if it worked the Seaboard Airline and numbered 1415. It was likely in operational at the North Carolina Transportation Museum. Then in 2001 it was acquired by the Hagerstown Roundhouse Museum in Hagerstown, Maryland, and it was repainted back to its Western Maryland scheme and original numbers well. Today it is seen on display at the Hagerstown Roundhouse Museum in Hagerstown, Maryland, where it is seen on display today. And also you can visit the locomotive's cab and sit where the engineer used to sit as well.
What you see right behind me is Western Maryland 1863.
Western Maryland 1863 was built by the Western Maryland shops in Hagerstown, Maryland, somewhere in the 1900s, and is a northeastern steel caboose. This caboose has been used on the railroad many years ago on the back of freight trains and used as the train crew's office. Then in 1973, the Chessie system became a parenting company along with the Chesapeake and Ohio and Western Maryland railroads, and it was likely repainted in the classic Chessie system scheme. Then it was retired and then it was acquired by the Hagerstown Roundhouse Museum in Hagerstown, Maryland, where it is seen on display today.
What you see right behind me is Reading 94020.
Reading 94020 was built by the International Car Company in Kenton, Ohio in 1944 and is a northeastern steel caboose. This caboose was used as the train crew's office for the Reading Railroad many years ago. Then later on this caboose was retired and was then put on display at the Hagerstown Roundhouse Museum in Hagerstown, Maryland, where it is seen on display today.
What you see right behind me is the flat car.
This flat car was built somewhere in the 1900s and is a flat car. Both the railroad this flat car was used for and numbered had is unknown. And this flat car was used for hauling things like construction machines on wheels, pipes, steel, and all other types of cargo once hauled many years ago. And it may be possible it was once used by the Western Maryland Railroad or the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad years ago. Then later on, this flat car was retired and was then acquired by the Hagerstown Railroad Museum in Hagerstown, Maryland, where it is seen today.
What you see right behind me is Pullman 9499.
Pullman 9499 was built by Pullman in 1943 and is a troop sleeper. Originally, this car was used by the United States Army, but original numbers unknown. This car was converted from existing boxcars or built from scratch based on ARR standard 50-foot 6-inch steel boxcar designs. Also, this car was once used in World War II. After the war, it was sold to the New York Central Railroad and was renumbered 9499 and was likely rebuilt as a maintenance of way car. Then it was acquired by the Hagerstown Roundhouse Museum in Hagerstown, Maryland, where it can be seen today. Also, it stands off of its trucks these days as well.
What you see right behind me is Chesapeake and Ohio 714.
Chesapeake and Ohio 714 was built by Pressed Steel Car Company, New Jersey in 1923 and is a diner coach lounge car. Also, the car is named Derby Club. It was originally built as a daytime coach. Later, it was rebuilt as a diner coach lounge car, and people would sit at tables while enjoying a meal on board in the diner area, and even sat aboard this car during the daytime and would even play cards in the lounge or even have an alcoholic drink as well, but only at a decent age. Then it was retired and it sat adjacent to the Hagerstown Roundhouse Museum in Hagerstown, Maryland. Then, sometime between 2013 and 2018, it was moved to the other side of the tracks adjacent to the museum, and it was then carefully refurbished on the inside and outside. Today, it can be found here on display at the Hagerstown Roundhouse Museum in Hagerstown, Maryland, where it is preserved today.
What you see right behind me is Pennsylvania Railroad 9006.
Pennsylvania Railroad 9006 was built by the St. Louis Car Company in St. Louis, Missouri in 1929 and is a B-60B baggage car. This car was used for many years to carry passengers' baggage on board as well, while it was used on the Pennsylvania Railroad. Then, when the Pennsylvania Railroad and New York Central Railroad merged to form the Penn Central in 1968, it was likely used by that railroad. It also may have found itself in maintenance of way service on the railroad as well. Then it was retired and was then later put on display here at the Hagerstown Roundhouse Museum in Hagerstown, Maryland. It was then repainted to its Pennsylvania Railroad livery as well. Today, it is preserved here at the Hagerstown Roundhouse Museum in Hagerstown, Maryland, where it is seen today.
What you see right behind me is Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe 3482.
Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe 3482 was built by Pullman Standard in 1940 and is a baggage dormitory coach. This car spent many years carrying passengers' baggage on board as well. One compartment is where baggage would be put, and the other compartment would be where the passengers would be. It also rolled on passenger trains for a number of years. In 1971, when Amtrak started, it was then sold to Amtrak. It was also renumbered 9995. Then it was put into private ownership and had a reporting mark and numbered PPCX 800,235, which was an Amtrak certified number. It was privately owned as well, and it was likely chartered on Amtrak passenger trains as well. Then it was later retired and then ended up on display at the Hagerstown Roundhouse Museum in Hagerstown, Maryland, where it is seen today.
What you see right behind me is North America Cement Company 60.
North American Cement Company 60 was built by General Electric in Schenectady, New York in 1948 and is the 293/40th diesel locomotive built by that factory and is a 45-ton center cab type diesel locomotive. It spent many years working at cement plants, and this was the original cement company it worked in. It worked in Cleveland, Ohio. Then it was used by the Marquette Cement Company in Ohio. Later, it was used by the Lone Star Cement Company and was likely used in Elkhart, Indiana. Then it was used by the St. Lawrence Cement Holcim plant up in Canada. Then lastly, it was used by the Independent Cement Company in New York. Later, it was retired and sat adjacent to the Hagerstown Roundhouse Museum in Hagerstown, Maryland. Then, sometime between 2013 and 2018, it was moved to the other side of the tracks adjacent to the museum. Today, it is preserved here at the Hagerstown Roundhouse Museum in Hagerstown, Maryland, where it is preserved today.
What you see right behind me is Trailer Train 156266.
Trailer Train 156266 was built somewhere in the 1900s and is an intermodal container car. This car spent many years carrying semi-trailers when rolling on freight trains on the railroad for many years. It would also see service on various railroads such as the Union Pacific, Burlington Northern Santa Fe, Norfolk Southern, Kansas City Southern, Canadian Pacific, Canadian National, and even CSX. Then it was later retired and it sat on the other side of the tracks. Later it was then put on display adjacent to the Hagerstown Roundhouse Museum in Hagerstown, Maryland, where it is preserved today.
What you see right behind me is Southern 526014.
Southern 526014 was built by Pullman Standard somewhere in the 1970s and is a 50-foot boxcar. This car spent several years hauling cargo that a boxcar like this one hauled on board when it was used in freight service, such as boxes or rolls of paper or any other products it may have hauled many years ago. Later it was retired and was then acquired by the Hagerstown Roundhouse Museum in Hagerstown, Maryland, where it is seen today.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed learning about trains with me today in Matthew Lap Train Guy. Also, I hope to see you all again real soon. And if you didn't subscribe to the channel yet, the subscribe button is just down below the video screen. And if you didn't give the Facebook page a like yet, here's where you'll want to go. And if you didn't give the Instagram page a follow yet, here's where you'll want to go as well. Also, be sure to get your merch at teesprings.com. The link is in the description box below, along with the Facebook and Instagram pages. And as always, remember to subscribe to the Train Guy. So this is Matthew Lapp, host of Matthew Lapp Train Guy, signing out until next time. All aboard!